You're at a place you just discovered. And being an American Express Platinum card member with global dining access by Resi helped you score tickets to quite the dining experience.
Oh, okay, chef.
You're looking at something you've never seen before, much less tasted. After your first bite, you say, nothing, because you're speechless. See how to elevate your dining experiences at americanexpress.com/withAmex. Don't live life without it. Terms apply.
Hey, can I let you in on a little secret? Oh, I'm obsessed with the Drop app. Drop makes it so easy to score free gift cards just for doing my everyday shopping at places like Ulta, Sam's Club, and Lyft. So if you're like me and love a good shopping spree, download Drop today and join the secret club of savvy shoppers. And use my code GetDrop999 to get $5.
Want to get 7 streaming services for one low price? Sign up for a smart bundle that'll stimulate your brain. Featuring Curiosity Stream with the best documentary films and TV shows. Taste Made for the fun side of food and travel. Topic with the best thrillers and crime stories. Da Vinci, teacher-approved ad-free shows and games. And more. From nature to history, technology to food, mystery to adventure. Get 7 streaming services for one low price. At less than $6 a month, it's the best deal in streaming. Sign up at smartbundle.com.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining me on Soul Sessions. I'm your host, Amanda Rieger Green. Welcome back for part 3 of our numerology series. If you've been listening the past couple of Soul Session episodes, we've been focusing on numerology, and I'm sure you can tell by now that I love talking numbers, decoding them, tapping into their energies, and sharing how they can guide and direct us, aligning us with our energy, showing us strategies for clarifying our meaning, our purpose, circumstances, situations, and then also revealing blind spots or blockages, how we limit ourselves. So much fun. Numbers are everywhere. Start paying attention and using them to your advantage. Find the opportunities and the lessons in the numbers. Don't get overwhelmed though. Just take it a step at a time. Come back and re-listen to these last 3 episodes, so today's episode and the 2 before this. I think you'll find them very supportive. So many of you have said you've taken notes, which is so me. I take notes on things that really align with me, and tools and resources, insights and guidance that apply to ways in which I can further develop, better understand myself, and align with not only my higher self, my higher consciousness, but personal lessons, growth opportunities. Because when I'm growing and learning and healing, I find a deeper sense of meaning, and that's huge. That's huge for me, and I know it's huge for many of you. We'll continue diving into numerology this week. Guess what we're going to talk about? Master numbers, a big topic for everyone. So I'm going to dive into master numbers. We'll talk about angel numbers or repeating numbers, and then we'll also talk about calculating the numerology of each day. I find that a very helpful tool, especially when I feel off or I feel super engaged, kind of in heightened states. I'm usually like, wait a minute, what's the numerology for today? And then I even harness it better, or I get out of my funkiness. I get out of my dis-ease and discomfort. So that's super helpful and will help you align with your energy. And last but not least, we're going to talk about address numerology, which I love and is so incredible to use, because you will, once I teach you how to do this, see how you can change the energy in your environment, work with it to support your goals, your aspirations, your hopes, wishes, dreams, needs, healing, so many things. And in addition to that, we're posting a blog. So there will be a blog coming up that when you listen to this episode, there's a lot to address numerology. It's actually very simple, but it can be kind of hard to conceptualize or calculate. So just know we'll have a blog supporting you so you can go back and really understand how to calculate it and do the math, because it is a little wonky at first, especially just listening. So I've been teasing everything about master numbers. We're going to dive in because master numbers, more than anything, snap us into the present moment. I find when I see a master number, whether it's a speed limit on my odometer or on the clock on my phone, it is an opportunity for me to get very conscious and very aware of where I am now. It's kind of like this be here now energy, and it helps me to be a human being versus a human doing. So let's dive in. There's a big misconception with master numbers. Master numbers are repeating digits, but they're the numbers 11, 22, and 33. Master numbers are not 44. They're not 333. Master numbers are 11, 22, and 33. Numbers beyond that, so 44 or 333 or 777, those are what people call angel numbers. So let's focus on the master numbers because they're very, very important. And a lot of us have those numbers in our code. So the example I gave of the June 14th birthday, 6 + 1 + 4 = 11, that person, that's their attitude number. They are an 11 attitude number. It reduces down, and this is what we always do with the master numbers. We reduce them down to their base frequency. So the 11, its base frequency is a 2. The 2, as you all know, because we went through this, the 2 is about balance, harmony, partnership, ebb and flow, essentially the law of reciprocity. It's about patience. It's about peace. It's about love. It's about relationships. It's about a lot, right? That's the energy of the 2. In order to access the master energy of the 11, which is called the master intuitive, that's what the 11 is, the master intuitive, because if you put 2 11s out in front of your face with your 2 index fingers, if you make like little goal posts, it looks like the 11. It is about the human and the spiritual. It's about the physical world and the spiritual world. As above, so below. Heaven on earth. And that's really essentially the lesson, bringing heaven down to earth. Or we are all seated from the divine. We are human, but we have elements of God in us because we are created in God's image. So the 11 is all about interconnecting the human world with the spiritual world. And that is the energy of connecting to intuition. That is the first lesson of the master numbers. It is about connecting with yourself and your soul, your human mind with your higher mind, connecting and fusing your ego into your higher consciousness. It is a beautiful energy to tap into intuition. The 11 is really about a thinning of the veil. And if you've heard that before, it is, the veil is thin. You know, when we have a full moon or an eclipse or an equinox or it's Halloween, like what if it's, a special day or energy, the veil is really thin, meaning, gosh, I had some really strong dreams last night, or I just thought about that person and they called. It's like when our senses are heightened. They also are more vulnerable. So it's like our antennas are up and active, but they're also maybe catching other things. So what's important in working with the energy of the 11 is you want to tap into higher consciousness, tap into your intuition. But in order to do that, you must be very grounded within yourself. It is, I know who I am. I know where my boundaries are. I know what I want. I know what I need. Now help me tap into something greater, something higher, and bring that down into practical knowledge, which actually leads us into the next master number, which is the number 22. The number 22 is the master builder. 2 + 2 = 4. So the base frequency is the 4. And the 4, if you remember, is all about building a solid foundation. It's all about order, process, clearly defined goals and ways to achieve those goals, quality over quantity, analysis, that's the energy of the 4, practicality, logic, but it is ultimately about solid foundations. And the master builder is building a new reality. It is actually, it's not a number of manifestation. It's more of a number of what am I building in this lifetime? What am I bringing into reality? And how am I taking practical action around my intuitive hits, master number 11, if the 11 is the master intuitive, so all of a sudden you intuit something. Oh my gosh, I need to reach out to so-and-so. The master builder, the number 22, says, how do I practically make that happen? That means you reach out, you make contact, or say you get an idea for a podcast or to write a book, or you want to start a new business. Any kind of energy that comes from a highly intuitive space and you feel very called, it feels aligned, and you're tapping into that intuitive energy, the master builder says, okay, what practical action are you going to take around that? Are you scared to do it? Are you afraid? Do you need to reach out and brainstorm that, mastermind that with somebody? Do you need more information? Do you need to do more research on this before you build it out? Let's say you know that you've been wanting to start a business, and maybe one of the first things, apart from writing out a business plan, is I got to get a website going. Okay, how do I build a website? I don't know. Do you hire somebody? Do you do research? Do you get a platform? Do you follow a tutorial? It's all about R&D, research, development, and action. That's the energy of the master builder. I know it sounds super boring. I love the energy of the 22. Of course, I love the master number of 11, but I love the energy of the 22 and the 4. And in fact, my address numerology is straight up a 4/22 energy. I'll explain that later because I love the 4. It helps me build things practically into my dreams, bringing my dreams into reality. I mean, if I could sum up the 22, the master builder, it is bringing dreams to reality in a very practical, logical, human way, which means I suit up, I show up, I do my part, and then I trust something bigger is coming together. So I have to trust my dreams, my insights, and then do something practically to build those into my reality. That's the 22. Now, the next one is the 33, which is the master healer. If you add 3 plus 3, it equals 6. And if you remember back last week, I talked about the 6 being, if you drew it on your piece of paper, it kind of looks like a pregnant woman. Use your creativity and imagination. But the 6 is the divine feminine energy. And the 33 really signifies this energy of divine wisdom, divine healing, divine living from the heart. Living from the heart, that's probably the most important piece of it. Unconditional love. Learning to first be of service to yourself, to take care of yourself, to be healthy, to be whole, and then share your wisdom, then share your light with others. People who have a 33 in their energy field, and I know people who have a 22 and a 33, or 11 and a 33. I mean, I know multiple people just in their birthday who I can think of have their attitude number is an 11 and their life path number adds up to a 33. That's some intense energy. That's some intense energy. But the 33 is super challenging, or can be. And let me tell you why. People who have 33 energy or tapping into that energy, the base energy is the 6. And the 6 is the nurturer, the caregiver, the mother, the healer, the wise one. But a lot of times it is giving, supporting, doing, showing up, taking care of, counseling, so depleted from giving that it's not tapping into that law of reciprocity and really receiving. Are they taking care of themselves? Are they working on healing their own soul, their own body, their own wounds, their own mind? And that is where their lesson is, to turn that mirror around and say, I am on a healing journey in this lifetime. I am going to do my own healing. I'm going to get support for that. I am dedicated to my growth, my evolution, my healing. And when those individuals, and they are magical individuals, you all, like so magical, because when those individuals really, really embrace their own healing journey and they are willing to continue looking at their wounds, then they become these vessels of light and incredible healers, not only of the people around them, but healers of humanity. I mean, so it's a heavy, challenging lesson, the energy of the 33. So if you added up your birthday your entire birthday and it equals 22 or 33, most likely it's not going to equal 11 just because of the years we're born, and I can do the math. It's not going to equal 11. But if you add it up and it reduces, you end up with a 22 or a 33, you have a master number in your life path. If you added your attitude number, the month you were born plus the day you were born, and it equaled 11, 22, or 33, you have a master number in your code, which means you have 2 lessons in that one energy. You have the base frequency, which is 11 is 2, 22 is 4, 33 is 6, and then you want to work on accessing, really aspiring towards. That's probably the key, aspiring towards the energy of the master intuitive, the master builder, the master healer. Those are very profound, important numbers. Okay. Now let's talk about angel numbers, which is a question everybody asks because it's like, Amanda, what about when I see repeating digits? What do I do? What does it mean? Well, we're going to talk about that.
A busy airport may not be the best way to ease into vacation mode. But when you're an American Express Platinum card member, the vacation starts in the Centurion Lounge.
Hi, welcome to the Centurion Lounge.
What smells so good? Must be one of the chef's local specialties. And as you sit back and relax, you think to yourself, what'll be on the menu for your Miami layover? See how to elevate your travel experiences at americanexpress.com/withAmex. Don't live life without it. Terms apply.
How rude, Tanneritos. A Full House Rewatch podcast is here. Join us as hosts Jodie Sweetin and Andrea Barber look back on their journey together as the iconic characters we all love, Stephanie Tanner and Kimmy Gibbler. Here's a quick preview brought to you by the Hyundai Tucson.
We spent our entire childhoods on a little show called Full House.
Playing frenemies, but becoming besties whenever the cameras weren't rolling.
And now, 35 years later, it's our biggest adventure yet.
Watching the original series together from beginning to end.
Seasons 1 through 8, from adorable childhood to those awkward teen years and beyond.
What awkward teen years, you geek burger?
Andrea, we are bringing back The Milkman, The Paperboy, and Evening TV. We'll be reliving every moment with you. And we'll be joined by our Full House family, including all your favorites from 192 episodes.
We'll reveal the hidden treasures you may have missed within the show, and we'll take a trip down memory lane together.
You can listen to How Rude, Tanneritos on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts. Brought to you by the Hyundai Tucson. It's your journey.
Want to get 7 streaming services for one low price? Sign up for a smart bundle that'll stimulate your brain. Featuring Curiosity Stream with the best documentary films and TV shows. Taste Made for the fun side of food and travel. Topic with the best thrillers and crime stories. Da Vinci, teacher-approved ad-free shows and games. And more. From nature to history, technology to food, mystery to adventure. Get 7 streaming services for one low price. At less than $6 a month, it's the best deal in streaming. Sign up at smartbundle.com.
Now let's talk about angel numbers, which is a question everybody asks because it's like, Amanda, what about when I see repeating digits? What do I do? What does it mean? Well, we're going to talk about that. And it's going to be a little bit more elusive, my answers are, than specific, which is kind of the fun of it. And this is about you developing your intuition. That's what angel numbers are about, is paying attention. Flat out paying attention. Meaning any kind of angel numbers would be repeating digits beyond the numbers 11, 22, and 33. So you might see 111, you might see 777, 444, 11, 11, 22, 22. I mean, you do the codes and the numbers. Any of those numbers would be considered angel numbers. When you see those numbers, let's just start with 1111. 1111 is a portal or a gateway because the 11, as I discussed, is the interconnection between the human and the spiritual. So when you see the 1111, it's really this code that the veil is thin. Whatever you are thinking, feeling, intuiting is really connected to all things intangible, the metaphysical plane, the multiverse. So that being said, if you see the number 1111, and we've all heard the thing, see the number 1111, make a wish. I think that's totally great. It's a really good time to tap in, tune in, and say, it is my intention, or I wish for, not I wish that I didn't have any more work today, but But I would wish a little higher, just so you know. Like, I would wish a little higher. I wish for a greater sense of clarity in my life. I wish for a better outcome in this dynamic I have with my spouse. Or I'm having this issue with my child. Gosh, I wish that they find peace. Harness that energy into something bigger. Don't wish for a bicycle. I mean, you can do anything you want, or a red Corvette. I don't know that you want a red, maybe you do want a red Corvette. I don't know. But like, come on, these numbers are magical for a reason. So they want you to start thinking magically, right? So the 1111 is really great for getting you to pause, to be present, and to really align your energy with something greater or higher. The rest of the numbers, I'm going to teach you some tips and tricks to work with them from a numerological standpoint, because they all have meanings and there's different interpretations of meanings. So I encourage you, let's say you see 444. I would search it. I'd be like, okay, what is the meaning of 444? And whatever you click on, go with it and find what resonates with you. Okay, you don't have to understand and know these numbers perfectly. Ask, search for it, and then trust whatever comes through and find out what you identify with. And it can be something beautiful and enlightening, or it can be like, get out of your own way. Let go and let God. You know, you have a power struggle going on. And that's when you're like, gosh, I sure do. I've been fussing at myself all day. I've been, berating myself, or my self-critic has been overly active today. It's an opportunity to get very present and very clear. Let's say you see 444. You see a number, and then you might see it 2 or 3 times in a day. You look down, it's on your odometer. It's 4:44 on the clock. You go to check text messages, and you've got, 4 messages and 44 messages in your email. I mean, that's the way it works for me. Like, if I'm seeing repeating 4s, I have 4 messages in my text messages and 44 messages in my email. And it's like, oh my gosh, there's 444 again right there on my screen. Pay attention to that stuff. And first of all, be amazed. First and foremost, go, oh my gosh, this is wild. I can't believe I just saw this again. That's kind of where your power is. That's where your empowerment is. And that's where you're harnessing something bigger. Now, let's say it's 444. All right, we already know what the 4 energy is about. Order, infrastructure, building a solid foundation, taking practical action, meeting your goals with quality. That's the 4, all right? So if we have 3 4s, 4 plus 4 plus 4 equals 12. Now, the energy 12 has all sorts of lessons. The 1 has lessons, the 2 has lessons. That has a number code. But for simplicity, for beginner energy, reduce the 12 to a 3. 4, 4, 4, 4 plus 4 plus 4 equals 12. Reduce it down, 1 plus 4 equals 3. So what do you have there? You have the energy of the repeating 4 that's in your face and keeps repeating. And when you add 3 4s together, you end up getting 12, and that reduces to 3. So you're working with the energies of the 4 and the 3. What does that tell me right off the bat? 4 is about taking practical action, all right? Checking boxes, getting things done, feeling the satisfaction of a job well done. And the 3 is about communication, connecting, working with other people, networking. It can mean lots of things, but very clearly to me, if you've been seeing that number, it probably means, hey, I need to take practical action, but I don't have to do this alone. I can do this with support of others, with community. How can I harness my resources? How can I tell people about what I'm doing and get new ideas from them, get some networking, build community through what I'm doing? I don't have to do this alone. I get to do it in community. It's so amazing to me because I find energies, opportunities, messages, and lessons in numbers all the time. We see them everywhere: license plates, speed limits, the clock, our phones. I mean, numbers are everywhere. The date, and I'll talk about the energy of the dates, like today's date, in a few minutes. Let's do another one. Let's do 888. All right, so the energy of the 8 is the energy of manifestation. It's the energy of infinity. It's the energy of the law of attraction, essentially, is really harnessing your point of attraction. Whatever you put out there is what you will receive back, or whatever is going on in your internal world directly manifesting your external world. It's the number of risk and reward, empowerment versus disempowerment, balancing the masculine and feminine. The 8 is just an ever-fluctuating, moving, infinite number of energy, and really understanding how to master, understand, work with energy. So if you keep seeing an 888, 8 times 3, 8 plus 8 plus 8 would be 24. And 24, again, has its energy, the energy of the 2 and the energy of the 4. So you can look at that if you want to dive deeper. But 2 plus 4 equals 6. So you've got the energy of the 8, which is about manifestation, empowerment versus disempowerment, risk versus reward, and the energy of the 6, self-care, healing, personal responsibility, and wisdom. All right, so those are your quick takeaways. You can figure out what that means from there. I'll help you out a little bit. But with the 8, it's how do I assert myself? How do I take a little bit of risk? And what reward am I looking for? How do I put myself out there? And the 6 is saying, and is it healthy? Is it wise? You know, when you're working with 8 and 6 energy, it's about empowerment, and it's about using your wisdom. It's about taking care of yourself, checking in with yourself and your own intuition, and then manifesting that out in the world, asserting yourself in some sort of way, being bold, but also trusting yourself, using and tapping into your wisdom. So we can play with these numbers all day, but I do encourage you, when you see repeating digits, first and foremost, see them and go, oh my gosh, I can't believe I saw that again. And go, oh wow. Like when you say, oh wow, this is incredible, this is amazing, feel incredible, feel amazing, because you're harnessing your energy field, your mind, and your emotional intelligence alongside of your body to just connect, to align, to go higher, to raise your frequency. And then just say, okay, it's a 4. And Amanda said 4s are about, or, oh, it's 333. Amanda said the 3 is about creativity. And then she said, okay, it's 3 3s. So 3 plus 3 plus 3 is 9. So I'm working with the energy of the 3 and the 9, the 3 being the communicator and the connector, and the 9 being about integrity and completion and letting go and letting God. How do I communicate that? And how do I take action? I mean, you can intuit into these things. And if you're totally lost and you don't know what to do, Google it. Like, search it. Literally just say, what is the, spiritual meaning behind 333? And you'll get a myriad of responses. And it may correlate, some people may correlate them with archangels or certain energies or numbers in the Bible or a religious tradition, because number codes are ancient. They are in so many religious texts. So know that you may get a multitude of responses and interpretations of that number. Go with what resonates with you. This is more about seeking, searching, understanding, finding alignment than it is about something being dogmatic, right or wrong. Just like with me saying on your personal year, you can calculate it on the calendar year, or you can calculate it on your birthday, or you can do both and work with both energies. This is about broadening and expanding your consciousness, not making it smaller. And the more you broaden and expand it, the more you actually fine tune it. That's the great paradox of working with our energy fields. Okay, let's talk about the number of the day, and then I'll circle back to address numerology and we will wrap up. So let's say, like, this podcast is coming out on the 20th. So 9 plus 2 plus 0 is 11. Woo, master number. Okay. So 920 is 9 plus 2 equals 11. But then remember, 2023 is a 7 year. So 7 plus 11 equals 18. So it's a 9 day. 1 plus 8 equals 9. So yes, there's the energy of the 11, which is the 920, and then you have the 7. So you can look at 7 and 11, which is a really interesting code, by the way. It's the seeker and then the master intuitive. You do that math. It's like aha moments, breakthrough moments. But if you add 7 plus 11, you get the number 9, which is about tapping into innate wisdom, innate leadership. It is about the culminations of things coming to a close, finalizing things, surrendering, letting go of anything or anyone, even attitudes, actions, beliefs, or behaviors that are no longer serving your highest good or limiting your happiness, peace, healing, joy, abundance. So that's how you tap into the energy of the day. So if you know it's a 4-day, it's a really good day to organize things, to make a list, to check boxes, to get some practical things done. If it's a 3-day, it's a social day. It's a day to reach out, to connect, to go do something fun. If it's a 5-day, it's about being spontaneous. It's about being a little bit flexible, noticing where you feel stuck, trapped, or rigid, and being able to kind of just loosen up, lighten up, and spontaneously change your plans. Seek adventure in your day. If it's a 6-day, focus a little bit on self-care because you may feel overwhelmed by the responsibilities of life. So put that oxygen mask on you. If it is a 7-day, it is a day for some solitude, contemplation, introspection, connecting dots, doing your astrology, tapping into your numerology. The 7 loves all things metaphysical. If it's an 8-day, it's a day for being bold, stating intentions, manifesting, finding empowerment, finding abundance, even when things feel challenging or even when your moods feel high to low very fast, because that's the energy of the 8. If it's a 9-day, it's about really stepping into your integrity. Am I acting in integrity in my highest character, or am I taking the easy way out? Am I shirking responsibility? Am I also not trusting God? Where am I trying to take the reins, take control, and not trust God? And let me go back just to be fair. If it's a 1-day, because I didn't do 1 and 2, if it's a 1-day, it is all about your mighty I am. Hello, what do I have on my plate? What do I need to do? I am wise. I am smart. I am strong. I am capable. I am loving. I am following through. What do I need today? What can I do today to show up and create happiness, create abundance, feel good, heal? I am. That's the number of the 1, the individual. The number 2 is a relationship day. So you may feel solitary on a 1, like I got to do it all, got it all on my plate. Well, harness that into, okay, I may have the weight of the world on my shoulders, but I get to see how other people help me or how I can be bold in my voice. So then the next day is a 2-day, which is all about relationships. People may be frustrating you. People may be teaching you lessons, reflecting back what you don't want or what you do want. It's a day of cultivating relationships and ultimately patience. When your patience is tested on a 2-day, you're right in line with the energy because you are learning to practice patience and also through relationships, through other people. Not easy stuff. And then ultimately the 3 is about connecting, socializing. So that's how you harness the energy of the day. And then last but not least, I'm going to talk about address numerology. I know you're on overload because we've talked about so much stuff, but I love this stuff. So you can kind of come back, re-listen, listen, and check in with these things. Both of these episodes are totally designed to give you so many tools around numerology. I hope you go back and listen and re-listen and find the things that align with you because this is stuff that you can practice for a while. And I really hope you enjoy it and find the correlations. Okay, address numerology.
An epic matchup between your 2 favorite teams, and you're at the game getting the most from what it means to be here with American Express. You breeze through the card member entrance, stop by the lounge. Now it's almost tip-off, and everyone's already on their feet. This is gonna be good. See how to elevate your live sports experience at americanexpress.com/withAmex. Don't live life without it. Eligible American Express card required. Benefits vary by card and by venue. Terms apply.
How rude, Tanneritos. A Full House Rewatch podcast is here. Join us as hosts Jodie Sweetin and Andrea Barber look back on their journey together as the iconic characters we all love, Stephanie Tanner and Kimmy Gibbler. Here's a quick preview brought to you by the Hyundai Tucson.
We spent our entire childhoods on a little show called Full House.
Playing frenemies, but becoming besties whenever the cameras weren't rolling.
And now, 35 years later, it's our biggest adventure yet.
Watching the original series together from beginning to end.
Seasons 1 through 8, from adorable childhood to those awkward teen years and beyond.
What awkward teen years, you geek burger?
Andrea, we are bringing back The Milkman, The Paperboy, and evening TV. We'll be reliving every moment with you, and we'll be joined by our Full House family, including all your favorites from 192 episodes.
We'll reveal the hidden treasures you may have missed within the show, and we'll take a trip down memory lane together.
You can listen to How Rude, Tanneritos on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts. Brought to you by the Hyundai Tucson. It's your journey.
Curiosity Stream is the streaming service for people who want to know more. And now check out Curiosity's new series, The Real Wild West. Rolling Stone magazine says it's the history of the West they usually don't teach you.
The mythology of the West left out a lot of the people.
People said they'd never seen a black cowboy. This is the history book, but did you know about these other facts?
Watch The Real Wild West now on Curiosity Stream. With monthly, annual, and bundled plans, find the one that works for you at curiositystream.com.
Okay, address numerology. So address numerology has been around a long time. I did write a book years ago called Numerology for Your Home, Using Abundance Codes to Shift Your Life. And it's out of print. It's not published anymore. I do have the rights to it. I probably will republish it or an updated version of it sometime in the future because it's actually pretty great. And it works, and everything in there works. I may post some blogs that support what I'm about to share with you because that will be really helpful if you can have these things down on paper. But I'm going to walk you through address numerology. You can change the energy of your environment through numerology, and it works, and it will blow your mind. Okay? It really, really does work. So you don't have to change your address to change your numerology, but you do want to be aware of your address. So let's say your address is 2207, blah, blah, blah lane. Okay? You don't have to worry about blah, blah, blah lane. You just want 2207. And you reduce it down. You do your numerology. 2 plus 2 plus 0 plus 7 equals 11. All right, so you have a master number at your house, but ultimately you reduce that 11 down to a 2. Okay, so the energy of your home is a 2. What does that breed? It breeds relationship, connectivity, sometimes codependency, sometimes fierce independence. The pendulum swings on the energy of the 2. It's really great for cultivating relationships. So if you're newlyweds, it's great to have the energy of the 2 in your home, or you're starting a new relationship, or you've got a new roommate. The 2 is very helpful for that way. It's also helpful if you want to cultivate love. I suggest sometimes if people are looking for love or relationships that we shift their address numerology to a 2, because then they start practicing self-love, and that self-love usually breeds connection, romance, and partnership. But let's say you've got a home, a husband, and 3 kids. The 2 is probably not your jam because you all have got a lot of moving parts and a lot of things going on. So somebody says, okay, I've got 3 kids, a husband, 2 dogs. We've got a 2 energy, and it just feels way too, too intense. We're too enmeshed. We're way too codependent, because that's what the energy of the 2 can breed. And it's like, what do we change our address to? And I say, I don't know. What do you want? Like, what are your goals? What are your intentions? And let's say that person says, we want to entertain. We want to have more people in and out of our house. Like, we want to have family over. We want to host Thanksgiving. We want to be the home that everybody comes to. I love my 3 kids, and I love it when they have their friends over. Okay, this may not be you, but you all are out there, because I know you all who are like, I love being the mom whose kids are in and out of the house, and I'm having everybody over for dinner, or I have Thanksgiving, or we have football games, and everybody's out in our backyard. The kids are playing. We've got football on. We've got food on the counter. Okay, but right now they're like, but nobody's really coming over. It doesn't feel that way in the house. Well, let's change it to a 3. Okay, so how do we do that? If their energy is a 2, how do we change the energy in the home to a 3? All right, track with me here. So the address is a 2. In order to get to 3, you have to add a 1. 2 plus 1 equals 3. Okay, you don't go out on your mailbox and add a 1 to it and screw with the U.S. Postal Service. You write a 1 on a Post-it note. Okay, write the 1 down on a Post-it note, and you stick it in the upper right-hand corner of the inside of your front door. So not outside on the front door, inside where you're looking at the front door from the inside, and the upper right-hand corner, you put that Post-it note up. Now look, I've done this for years. When I change the address numerology, sometimes I'll write it down on a piece of paper. Other times I will go to Ace Hardware and I will get a really pretty number, whatever, okay? Sometimes I'll put it up on my door, actually, with a nail or whatever I want to do. But writing it down on a Post-it note works. And I like that actually better for a lot of reasons, because on the back of that Post-it note, you can write down intentions. So-and-so is wanting to change their house to a 3. Their energy is a 2, so they're going to write a 1 down on the Post-it note, because 2 plus 1 will get them to the 3. They write the 1 down, and they stick it up in the top right-hand corner of the door. Now, here are the suggestions I would make with that. 1, I would do it on a new moon or a full moon, or the start of the month. So I would do it on an energetic power day, and mostly on a new moon or the start of a month, because those are more initiation times. They're very aligned. Or you could do it on your birthday or an anniversary. If there's a significant date and it feels like a new beginning to you or a shift in energy, do that. Follow your own intuition. But I always instruct people to shift their address numerology on an initiation date, start of the month, new moon, as a rule of thumb. Also, when you change your address numerology, give it at least 6 months. This is not every 2 weeks change your address numerology, because you're just going to miss it. You're going to miss the energy. You're going to miss the lessons. When I change my address numerology, I commit to it for a minimum of 6 months. It usually creates a little bit of disruption for about 3 weeks. And just know that. And you don't have to think about it. Once you put it up there and you set your intention, so this home would be, maybe they wrote out, it is our intention that our home is open to our friends, that we can create loving memories, social gatherings that uplift, create community, connection, that we can enjoy ourselves through socializing, whatever you want to write on there. But I love writing intentions aligned with the energy that you are intending for. So that being said, what happens is, from shifting from the 2 energy to the 3 energy, it's like a push and pull. So the first 3 weeks may feel super disjointed, awkward. You may not sleep well. You may have people saying they're coming over and then they forget to show up, or you plan a party at the house and nobody shows up. I mean, it may just be awkward. I'm just giving you examples of what could happen. But then after you get out of that, next thing you know, people are knocking on your door. People are over there. We had this happen. I can give you tons of examples, but let me give you one. When we moved back to Texas from Belize to take care of my mother, and we moved her in, our address numerology is a 1. And when we moved into the house, once we got her on hospice and settled, a big thing that she wanted, and we had enough space, was to have family come visit. She couldn't really travel that much, so she wanted to have family come and spend time. We had the space for that. And I remember us, once we finally got everything settled in the house, Mom was like, I'm ready to have people over. And I was like, okay, let's change the address numerology. And she was into this. We've done this for years together. And she's like, okay, what do we need? And I was like, a 3. The 3 is the entertainer, the social home. You are welcome. Mi casa es su casa. So I tell you what, y'all, I changed that address numerology probably in May or June, maybe June of 2022. And come November, after Thanksgiving, I was like, I'm done. I cannot I was exhausted. And I work from home. My office, is upstairs. So I was working from home. We had people in and out of the house. Of course, we had hospice staff in and out. I mean, it was abundant and it fulfilled. People were just showing up and coming, and we welcomed them and we have the space. But then I recognized, okay, I can't do this anymore. And oh my gosh, we've had that 3 up there and it's working. So I knew, okay, it's time to shift this energy. And what do we need to shift it to? And I will tell you this, we shifted it. This is kind of heavy, but my mom and I had a whole discussion around this. We shifted it to a 9, which is the number of closure and completion. It's making me cry just thinking about it. We changed it to a 9, which really signified that it was time to get quiet. It was time to close some things out. It was time to look back and to recognize all lessons learned and be ready for the next stage of life. And so we changed it to a 9, and I can't remember if I changed it in December or actually I changed it on January 1st. I think I changed it on January 1st, and my mom passed away February 28th. And in no way did that make that happen or force that to happen, because my mom and I sat down together and we're like, we're tired. We can't entertain anymore. We're over and done with this. Okay, what energy do we want to call into this environment? And it was culmination. It was completion. It was integrity, doing the right thing, being in the right place, and ultimately letting go and letting God. And that's, if anything, what that whole process was. And of course, her death was imminent, and we knew that that was coming. So of course, you're like, well, Amanda, you knew this was coming. Yes, but we also lined up the energies of our home to support us in the highest light of that energy, the 9, the integrity, the wisdom. So it was immense and it was intense, but it also was one of the most beautiful rites of passage I think I've ever experienced in this lifetime, and it was divine. So with address numerology, let's just do a few examples because I know this is a lot, just so you have the fundamentals down. Let's say your address is 112, so that's a 3. Okay, I'm on a 3. 112. No, that's a 4. Sorry. 1 plus 1 plus 2 equals 4. Okay, so that's a 4. Your address is a 4, which means it's really good for organization, process, getting everything in its right place. My address right now, I changed it to a 4 months ago. Like after my mom died, about a month after my mom died, I was like, it's time to get into the energy of the 4. It was a little bit after that, and I was like, I need order, process, routine, health, wellness, everything in its right place, cleaning house, getting everything foundational and fundamental. That's what the energy of the 4 is. So let's say you live in a 4 energy and you're wanting to sell your house. You're wanting to generate abundance. You're wanting to become an entrepreneur and start your business from home. Well, you have that energy of the 4 already there. A house selling number is the 8. Generating abundance, really stepping into your power, risk and reward, being bold, putting yourself out there, that's also the energy of the 8. So if you've got a 4 energy and you want to get to 8, what do? 4 plus 4 equals 8. That's a case where you would actually write the 4 down on a piece of paper and put it in the top right-hand corner of your door because 4 plus 4 equals 8. All right, let's do a few more where the calculations are a little bit more challenging. Let's say your address numerology, you add up your street address and it equals 14. So that's a 5. It equals 14, so you reduce it down to a 5. And you want to get to a 3. Okay, so 5 plus what equals 3? You might think you need to subtract. That's not the case. So what you need to do in order from the 5, if the 5 is the energy of your home, from your address numerology, and you want to get to a 3 because you want connection, community, all the things, or you want to get to a 2, or you want to get to a 1, anything, a 4, 3, 2, 1, anything but below that, you have to go up. So 5, in order to get to 3, you would need a 12. What plus 5 equals 12? 7. So if you have a 5 and you're trying to get to the 3, 5 plus 7 equals 12. 1 plus 2 will equal 3. So what you would do is you would write a 7 down on your Post-it note and stick that on your top right-hand corner of the door. Now, I will tell you all this because address numerology is kind of complex and there's also some nuances. Let's say you live in 22A, 22B, you live in an apartment and you have a letter. Well, all of the letters of the alphabet correlate to numbers. A is 1, B is 2, C is 3, and so on till you get to 9, and then it repeats, and that's Pythagorean alphabet numerology. So let's say you live in 22B. You live 2 plus 2 equals 4. And then B correlates with the energy of the number 2. A is 1, B is 2. So you actually have a 6 vibration in your home. That's how you do that address numerology. And that's how you would find out what the energy of your house is. If you're trying to figure out what you want for the energy of the house, go back and listen to the first podcast and all the attributes of the numbers and think about those attributes in environments. Okay, if it's about wisdom and the divine feminine and family and home and personal responsibility, that is the number of home. That's the number of 6. 4 is about organization, order, structure. The 2 is about intimacy, love, relationship. The 1 is about individuality. The 5 is about adventure and freedom. It's really, the 5 is kind of a transient number. So if you have a 5 in your address numerology, most likely you don't want it unless your house is literally a landing pad. If you travel a lot and you just come home, you sleep, you reset, and you hit the door again, then that's perfect. Like that's the energy of your home. If you've got a 7, it's super solitary, very spiritual, very introspective. It can make you feel a little bit reclusive, okay? The 8 is blowing and going, risk, reward. It can be really high to low emotional, so it is very important if you have an 8 in your address numerology or you want an 8, that you are really in tune with your thoughts and your feelings, because it is the number of manifestation, which means you can manifest chaos just as easily as you can manifest abundance. If you have a 9, know that it is about integrity, tapping into your higher wisdom, your higher character. It's about completion. It's about connecting higher with God and also bringing that down into your human body. You know, those are the numbers. The 3, again, is about socialization. But I will, over the course of the next couple of weeks, get some blogs posted to support you in address numerology, so you have the basics and the 101 stuff down, and the basic attributes of each of the numbers in your home. And you can change your address numerology in an office. You can change it in your car. You can change it on your driver's license. And all it takes is adding up the number of your driver's license, figuring out what the energy is. And if it's a 5, hello, that might be a little reckless. Do you get a lot of tickets? Do you have a heavy foot? Do you get in wrecks? Okay, if your license is a 5, it might lend itself to that. So you might want to change it to a 4, grounded, steady, organized. So if you've got a 5 and you want to get to a 4, remember how we do that? You need a 13. What plus 5 equals 13? That's how you do the math. I mean, you can play with this stuff and it works. And you just tape a number for the car. Like if you add up your license plate, and I've done this before, y'all. I'll add up the digits on my license plate. And if it's a number and I want to change the energy in my car, I will literally tape a number on the inside, like right when I open my door on that little lip that's right next to where you get in on the seat, like on the car. I have taped numbers there next to the VIN number. And people are like, what is this number? And then I'm like, oh, it's my car numerology. I mean, I've done all sorts of weird stuff, but I play with it and it works. And I change the energy of things by changing the numbers. Another way you can do it too, and this is really cool and it's super easy to practice, and I'll close on this, is let's say you go into a hotel room. Okay, don't worry about the address of the hotel. Does it all factor in, like our zip code? Think about it. Our zip code encapsulates all of the energy of that zip code. That's like the universal energy of that entire zip code. So yes, or an area code, same thing in a phone number, right? But if you go stay somewhere in a hotel, don't worry about the actual address of the hotel, okay? It's an influence, but it's not as impactful as your actual room number. So let's say your room number is 27. It's a 9. Okay, you get into your room number, you're like, it's a 9, and I've got to be firing and wiring for business. I have to be motivated and energized. You might either want to change it to an 8 or a 3. That's what I would do. You know, like I am going to be in here on my phone working for my computer, and then I've got to pop downstairs for a meeting, and I've got to be over here. So the 9 is going to be more introspective. It's going to be more steady. And if you don't want those energies, you want to change it. So you can literally take a Post-it note, and on the inside of the right-hand corner of your door in your hotel room, change it. Sometimes I'll change hotel room numbers to like a 6 or a 4 if I'm feeling like I need grounding or I need nurture. I need a good night's sleep. That's like the number of the 6, a good night's sleep. If it's a 5, I will change it. Otherwise, I usually don't change that, but if it's a 5, I'll change it to like a 6 or a 4, just so it feels organized or grounded or quiet, whatever it is that I'm needing. So first of all, I hope you have fun with this. More than anything, look for the signs, look for the synchronicities, see where you can start playing with your numbers, reading into the numbers, harnessing the numbers, seeing the repeating digit, the angel numbers, the master numbers, your personal month, your personal year, the numerology of this year. It's so much fun. And don't do it all. Don't overwhelm yourself. Find 1 or 2 things that resonate with you and start playing with it. Your address numerology. Just start from there. And when you see repeating digits, don't worry about getting into the numbers, the meaning, and the math. Just search it. Be like, what does this mean? And then go with what comes to you. See what you find. Do the investigation, because that's where the activation happens. The investigation breeds the activation. Again, thank you so much for joining me on this numerology series. I love how many of you have shared personal numerology insights, signs, synchronicities, and I'm glad you're enjoying it and having fun. Tell me more about what's going on. Be sure to reach out, podcast@soulsessions.me, and let me know what you're figuring out. Let me know what you're tapping into, what awareness has come into your presence and how you're working with those energies. It's so much fun. If you missed it, I did live readings on the Carla Marie and Anthony Show on Twitch yesterday. It was a ton of fun. Be sure and check it out. The link is in the show notes. I love doing live readings, taking callers, and I think you'll find some divine alignment and support in that. Take care, everyone.
CuriosityStream is the streaming service for people who want to know more. And now check out Curiosity's new series, The Real Wild West. Rolling Stone magazine says it's the history of the West they usually don't teach you.
The mythology of the West left out a lot of the people.
People said they'd never seen a black cowboy. This is the history book, but did you know about these other facts?
Watch The Real Wild West now on CuriosityStream. With monthly, annual, and bundled plans, find the one that works for you at CuriosityStream.com.
An epic matchup between your two favorite teams, and you're at the game getting the most from what it means to be here with American Express. You breeze through the card member entrance, stop by the lounge. Now it's almost tip-off, and everyone's already on their feet. This is gonna be good. See how to elevate your live sports experience at americanexpress.com/withAmex. Don't live life without it. Eligible American Express card required. Benefits vary by card and by venue. Terms apply.
It's semi-annual sale season at CheapCaribbean.com, which means you can unlock more savings on your next all-inclusive beach vacay. If you want to visit the beach in the fall, winter, or spring, it's never too early or late to start planning, which is why we're offering up to $150 off your booking of 4 nights or more. Just use code SAVINGBIG150 at checkout to unlock your exclusive offer at CheapCaribbean.com. Semi-annual sale ends October 3rd. See you at the beach.